Good morning and welcome to the VSA Morning Miner. It's Thursday, the 23rd of March. I'm joined by David again this morning, with Andrew, I think, travelling back today, and Paul on holiday. So, David, how are you doing?
Good morning, and it's a brighter day today. Anyways, just looking back, the Fed raised rates. They've now got a target range of 4.7 to 5, which ironically is the level we were at the eve of September 07, so just before the financial crisis. But Janet Yellen came out with no blanket on bank deposits. Where I'm going with this is that if people interpret the tone of Mr. Powell as being a little bit dovish after this, the dollar index has been trending down, and that would be favorable for gold. And with what Yellen's been saying, that could set a positive backdrop for precious metals. But in terms of news, Savannah, the Barossa lithium project, we had the EIA update, I believe.
Yes, they've announced an update, and indeed, as you say, with dovish sentiment taken from that, gold rallied a bit yesterday in the US, and silver popped back over $23 an ounce. So that's positive for the silver plays, which look relatively cheaper than their gold equivalents. But yes, Savannah announced a publication of their mine plan and corresponding environmental report. So that's now available for public consultation for quite a short period, just up until April the 4th. And then once that's collated, they do a full submission by the 31st of May. Looks like that's in advance of an update to their scoping study in H2 of this year. Obviously positive to see permitting progress for this project, but I think in Portugal, until it's in the bag, I think it's always going to give investors some caution, given some of the track record in Portugal and Spain on delivering on permits that have been positively viewed right up until the last minute.
Indeed. Staying in Europe, I saw that Zimwell raised 18.7 million, and I think that that transaction was nicely anchored by AMG and some supportive shareholders. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one. Obviously, Zimwald was spun out of Bacanora a few years ago now, and is a micro project in Germany. I think the interesting point here is that AMG, they're already backwardly integrated in the lithium space with hard rock operations in Brazil. They're building a lithium refinery in Germany at the moment. So with them as a strategic investor in this project, perhaps you could see some quite significant changes to what they do at Zimwald. They'd obviously re-engineered the project from a lithium fluoride project towards more conventional lithium products, with PEA coming out last year, but that had a capex of about $340 million. So perhaps with AMG as a strategic partner, they might be able to adjust the flow sheet to an earlier stage intermediate product, thereby lowering the capex for Zimwald and enabling AMG to secure local product into their new refinery.
Interesting. Would be well worth keeping an eye on them. And sticking to the lithium theme, is Chile considering coming up with some commentary on lithium brine extraction?
Yeah, there's an article saying that the government is considering forcing all brine producers to go down the DLE route. I think that's probably the sort of natural trajectory of the industry and where many of the producers want to go, but obviously that hasn't been commercially demonstrated yet. So for the government to push companies in that direction legally at this stage, it's quite risky.
Well, we'll have to watch that space. Wasn't too much out there, I think, in terms of news today. So unless there's any further thoughts you have, perhaps we should close it up and wish our listeners a very good day.
Yeah, I didn't think any other news. Just to say, obviously, spot lithium prices still continuing to fall from the highs from the end of last year, and those spot prices do tend to be the main driver for lithium equities and lithium sentiment, particularly for the juniors. Not sure there's any sign of a turnaround in that, but obviously those stocks we've mentioned today, London listed companies didn't get to the same valuations as the TSX and ASX, and actually they haven't got as much of those gains to give up based on where they're valued at the moment.
Great.
All right. Thanks, David.
Pleasure.